Yes, it is true. I've been working on an app for about 6 months. Not the 6 months that I've not been posting, but the 6 months from February 2023 to August. I think that's about 6 months, if I know how to count. I've worked on an app that did not take off, that did not work at all. And I want to share with you the three lessons I've learned throughout that journey. So let me just first tell you some background. I distinctly remember having a little Chrome tab that said document on it, and it was literally just an HTML file that I made, right, of my software app. When I first began, I like made an HTML document to begin, and it had I just loaded up an image of a Lambo or a Bugatti or something like that, right? I'm not sure how you would draw a Bugatti. I think it's something like that. I don't know. Anyway, there was this fancy car, and this was like the dream car, you know? And so I got into it, into trying to develop this software with the kind of enticed by this get rich quick money kind of get rich quick 10K a month kind of dream that everybody advertises, you know, Andrew Tate and all those guys that always say that. And so you have this car and you have an image of a Rolex and all this stuff. And so these are the things that are like enticing me to get into software development. And what I was trying to build was like a social media platform that was like YouTube. So because and the reason why I wanted it is because there's AI in it. There's like the machine learning kind of for like the YouTube algorithm recommendation thing that's kind of interesting to me, and just generally just wanted to launch my own website and learn programming that way. And I worked on it for 6 months and then ended up thinking, this is going to take too much time. It's not worth it. I want to abandon it for a new opportunity. So I will share with you the lessons that I've learned, three lessons that I've learned throughout this entire process. Because while I did abandon it and while it was like failed, I did learn many things, and it was not in vain, I can say. First of all, I did not do the proper research, right? Oh my God. Research. That's terrible already. If you don't research what you're trying to do, what app you're trying to make, the idea that you're trying to do, it's going to be disastrous in the long run. What was my idea? It was to make a platform like YouTube, YouTube-like platform that hosted videos and was like going to be the next social media platform. How would I even compete with them? They have thousands of employees and they've been doing this for 10 plus years, 15 plus years, right? They've been doing this for 15 plus years. What is unique about my platform that's going to be like beating theirs? Not in beating, but more like, um, there will be some kind of unique type of viewer or like person visiting this website that would actually like the platform, would think, okay, this is actually what I need. I didn't actually have that plan, so I just kind of wanted to do it because I found it cool. That's amazing, but it's not going to lead to great success if you. Oh my God. I struck the mic. Maybe you heard a disgusting noise pitch, but anyway, I it's not going to lead to much like success in terms of getting many users and getting it to be very uh, popular. At least that is what I have learned, right? Please do research. So the lesson to myself is to do research because um, they're very established and they know what they're doing and a lot of stuff like that. And it's difficult. Also, like another factor is that it's difficult, right? In the sense that you have an AI system in there, so AI recommendation system. That's literally what I wanted to implement. An AI machine learning system. Then what else? There was a lot of database stuff. I mean, that's natural, right? That's part of an app, but still, database, like front end, back end. I didn't like consider much of this stuff. I just thought that it would be way simpler than it actually was. And so you have to consider it. At least I have understood. I have understood. I'm not trying to lecture you on what you should do. I'm just trying to share what I've learned. So that's what that's number one lesson to myself that I realized is to research more. If that lesson helps you, that's great. Yeah, I'm trying to frame it around not, lecturing you on anything. Number two, I expected it to be quick. Perhaps we can change this to black. I expected it to be quick. So that's not going to happen because you can't just build an app quickly. Again, I'm trying to not lecture you, but I'm trying to tell myself is that I've learned that like I initially I wanted to complete it in a month, right? So I thought of it. I thought, okay, maybe like in a month or two or something like that. So February, get it done by March or April, something like that, a month or two. But that did not happen. And then when the time came around, I delayed it till like end of spring, right? So like May, end of May, and then I can get it to like become famous and grow into massive heights over the summer. Then I didn't. Then I was like delayed it during the summer, and it took longer than expected, and I took it to the summer, and then I got what's called shiny object syndrome, and then I switched to a different opportunity. So yeah, I expected it to be quick. So uh, delays, lots of delays occurred, not knowing what it takes, plus poor planning. And we can get that. That's a separate point actually. So I had poor planning. Now that I look back in, I can see that uh, is I was actually not good at planning it because I was at some point focusing on like building functionality, like making sure that it all works well, making sure that it works like as a proper app. But then later, I got too focused on UI, trying to make it look very good. And sure, if I go back into my code files, it looks good, but it's not like that's not the focus of the website. And so, at least for me, I realized that you must first focus on functionality before you can focus on UI. I think that maybe is a pretty simple lesson, but for some of you, you might actually find that helpful. So, uh, focus too much on UI. Focus too much on UI. That's nice. You can make a good UI, but later. So then what else? Then what else? This is very important. Uh, Let me just write it out. Yeah, there we go. Subtle feeling of being better than others. So, and you may have this too, where you think that you will build something that nobody's ever built before, or at least is so unique and so good, and just people will praise you as soon as you launch it. You launch it and mention it in one ad or one video or to one friend or something that it just takes off in the first month and you're already living your dream. That's not true. And so I had this subtle feeling that I was kind of better in some kind of way than other people and I knew something that they didn't. Sure, the pursuit of building a social media platform all on your own is unique, but it doesn't mean I'm better than everyone else. And so at least I needed to realize that I'm not better than everyone else and I have a lot to learn and now I've reframed everything to like think of it as a learning experience. So anytime I'm developing an app or just doing anything, really, it's about how can I learn to do this thing rather than do the thing. And it's like if you're entering a new sport, you're trying to learn how to do the sport rather than do the sport. So you wouldn't claim that you're Muhammad Ali before you know how to throw a punch. But yeah, it's for everyone who has a little bit of a superiority complex or something like that. They think that they're better, and you're not, bro. At least I have understood that I'm not better. I'm trying to reframe it because I usually speak even to myself through you, but I'm trying to not lecture. I'm trying to show it as this is what I'm learning on the way. But yeah, if you have this subtle feeling, it's going to destroy you. At least I think so, because uh, it's not helpful. It prevents growth, and yeah, it's just not good. And number three, final one, is prioritization. I've already said this, but I focus too much on the UI, right? UI, excessive UI focus, excessive UI focus. It's like you need to set priorities when you're developing apps, um, to know what you're doing. I so I didn't really have a plan, right? So I knew that I would develop this by this by this date, but it's kind of shifting from UI to UX to UI to UX, and sometimes things would drag on longer, and I would just let them drag on, and it's fine. So like I got too focused on DOM elements, DOM elements, making sure that a pop-up on a website, right? You have this little website interface, making sure that a pop-up could appear properly and block out the things behind it, and then you can have an X over here that you can cross it out, and making sure that all the elements look fantastic and beautiful. And it's like, you can focus on that later. So yeah, it was particularly over the summer that like from May till June till July, something like that, I got very focused on UI and all of like DOM and just making the website look beautiful, and it dragged on for a long time and too focused on JavaScript, I use Python for backend, right? I don't know if I mentioned that, but I use used Python Flask for the backend, and I was too focused on the JavaScript side, which was the UI, which was the front end. So you should know how to prioritize. Or let me reframe it. I learned that you need to know how to prioritize. God damn, this language, I'm trying to reframe it because otherwise it sounds arrogant if I'm lecturing you, in the sense that like, I'm not credible to give you actual proper advice, so I'm going to rather speak like a normal human that's just sharing lessons. But yeah, so I had this excessive UI focus. And those are the three lessons. I don't know if they were very helpful for you. It's actually a very quick video. I don't know why. So to quickly recap, this is what I learned. I learned uh, to I learned to do proper research before diving into something, or at least that's what I can observe from my past experiences. I learned to prioritize, and I learned to adjust expectations. Expectations. So research, if like if I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know like the idea, I don't know competitors, feasibility, is it worth doing it, good enough opportunity, all this stuff, will people actually care about it? You have to do this research. If I don't know what I'm doing, then the app is going to be unfocused. So that's one. Adjust expectations is to understand that you're not perfect and that you're not going to like finish it in time, or not finish it in time. You're not going to be perfect and like release it and then immediately get the maximum results. And to understand that it's difficult, it's hard, and to understand it's going to take time. Uh, One thing, and then prioritize. So don't make it take time. You need to focus, have priorities on what you're actually building, and you know, make sure that the app that you're developing, you know what you're actually after, and you remove all the other trash that you don't actually need. So those are the three lessons I've learned. Hopefully they are helpful for you. Thank you for watching.